You know the feeling. It's 3 a.m., you're wide awake, you keep telling yourself, it's just stress, I'm fine. But your body, it's practically screaming a message you've been taught to ignore your whole life. Well, today, we're actually going to listen, because it turns out anxiety isn't just in your head at all.
Yeah, that feeling. A heart that's just racing and won't slow down, a stomach that feels like it's full of angry bees. These aren't just random, weird sensations that you have to put up with. No, they're specific signals your body is sending you.
For so many of us, these physical signs are the very first and sometimes the only clue that something deeper is going on. So what if we stopped brushing them off? What if we actually started to decode them? Let's begin by taking a look at what this silent panic really feels like.
Okay, so let's explore how your body can get stuck in this state of silent panic. It might have been waving these little red flags for months, maybe even for years, all while your logical brain is just insisting, nope, everything's under control.
Do any of these look familiar? Yeah, I thought so. We have a million names for them, right? We say we're just tired, or bloated, or sore. We blame our diet, getting older, a bad night's sleep. But what if it's none of those things? What if we're just misreading the signals?
So what is actually happening in your body? Here's the key. This isn't your body failing you. Not at all. It's your body's ancient, super effective alarm system, just going off at all the wrong times.
The technical term for this is somatic anxiety. All that means is it's your physical body reacting to something it thinks is a threat. The whole process kicks off in a tiny part of your brain called the amygdala. Think of it like your brain's smoke detector. And here's the problem. It can't tell the difference between a real, physical danger and a modern, psychological one.
And this right here illustrates the problem perfectly. Your internal alarm system was designed for, a saber-toothed tiger jumping out of the bushes. But today, it's getting set off by an unread email from your boss, a deadline that's creeping closer, or just the thought of a difficult conversation. The threat is totally changed, but our biological reaction, it's exactly the same.
And it all happens in this predictable three-step chain reaction. First, your brain's smoke detector senses a threat. Then, boom, it triggers an alarm, flooding your system with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. And finally, your body braces for impact. It gets ready for a physical fight that never actually comes. It's like flooring the gas pedal with the emergency brake on. So, let's break this down into 3 of the most common physical alarms that people ignore every single day, starting with one that sends countless people straight to the emergency room, thinking the worst.
This is alarm number 1, the invisible vice. It's that awful, terrifying feeling of pressure on your chest, like you just can't get a full, satisfying breath, no matter how hard you try. It's so scary.
Take Sarah, for example. For months, she was convinced she had adult-onset asthma. She went to a lung specialist, did all the tests, and they came back perfect. The trigger wasn't physical at all. It was her intense fear of public speaking at work. Her body was physically reacting to the threat long before her conscious mind even registered the panic.
And the science behind this is fascinating, actually. That feeling of air hunger where you feel like you can't get enough oxygen, it's not a lack of oxygen, it's kind of the opposite. When we get anxious, we take these short, shallow breaths, which makes us breathe out way too much carbon dioxide. This actually changes the pH of our blood, which, and here's the crazy part, makes it harder for the oxygen that's already in your blood to get to your brain. That's what causes the dizziness and that weird tingling in your fingers.
Okay, let's move on to alarm number 2, the stomach war zone. This one's for anyone out there who's constantly blaming their nausea, bloating, and cramps on something they ate for lunch.
Jake's story is a classic case. He cut out dairy, then he cut out gluten. He was trying everything to figure out what food was the culprit. But when he actually started keeping a log of his symptoms, he realized the pattern wasn't about food at all. It was about stress. His stomach would go haywire, like clockwork, before every single meeting where he felt like he was being judged.
So what's the deal here? Well, it's all about the gut-brain superhighway. When anxiety strikes, your brain sends panic signals straight down a long nerve called the vagus nerve. To get you ready for that fight or flight, your body reroutes blood away from your digestive system and sends it to your big muscles. Digestion literally just grinds to a halt. And the result? Cramps, bloating, and that sudden urgent need to find the nearest bathroom. And that brings us to our final one, alarm number 3, the tension trap.
This is that chronic, nagging muscle pain, in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, that just never seems to go away no matter how much you stretch.
Maria's story is so incredibly common. Her dentist even gave her a night guard for grinding her teeth, but the pain just wouldn't stop. It wasn't until a therapist suggested she keep a clench journal that she had a breakthrough. She realized she was holding this immense tension in her jaw all day long, totally subconsciously, just bracing for an impact that never came.
This is the freeze part of fight, flight, or freeze. Your body holds your muscles in a constant state of readiness, just waiting. That chronic tension is what causes those awful tension headaches and those stubborn knots in your shoulders. And the jaw clenching, that's a classic primal freeze response. And this isn't just physical. It's also why anxiety can make us procrastinate or just feel stuck. Your entire nervous system is literally frozen, waiting for a danger that only exists in your mind.
Okay, so we've identified the alarms, we know what they feel like, but, knowing is only half the battle. How do we actually answer the call? How do we send a message back to our bodies that says, hey, thanks, but the danger isn't real?
One of the most direct ways you can intervene is with your breath. The 4-7-8 technique is amazing because it manually activates your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the body's rest and digest mode. The long exhale is the real key here. It's a direct, physical signal to your brain that the threat is past and it's safe to calm down.
And this isn't just about feeling better. It has a real measurable physical effect. A 2021 study showed that practicing this kind of deep, diaphragmatic breathing led to an 80% reduction in that feeling of air hunger we talked about earlier. Think about that. You are literally using your breath as a remote control for your body's fear center.
But sometimes your mind is just spiraling, right? And when it spirals, your body follows. Breathing is a fantastic tool, but grounding is another. The 5-4-3-2-1 technique is such a powerful way to break that feedback loop. By forcing your brain to stop worrying about the future and focus on immediate sensory input, you pull yourself out of that abstract fear and right back into the present moment. And that calms the physical response.
So let's pull all of this together. Let's really reframe what these strange, scary symptoms actually mean.
That racing heart, that churning stomach, those tight muscles, they are not signs that your body is broken or that it's turned against you. They're signs that your body is working perfectly. It's doing its job, trying to protect you from a threat it truly believes is real. It's not your enemy, it's your loyal, if maybe a little overzealous, protector.
The goal, then, isn't to silence these signals or to get rid of them. The goal is to finally understand what they're trying to tell you. Your body is communicating with you in the only language it knows. So the real question is, are you finally ready to listen?